Hello students, how are you all? I hope you are fit and fine at your home. Students, today we are going to learn civics of 6th standard. In civics, today we shall learn the 4th chapter, that is urban local government bodies. Okay students, in the 3rd chapter we have studied rural local government bodies. In that chapter we have studied the local government bodies works at 3 levels: Gram Panchayat, Panchayat Samiti and Jilla Parishad. Do you remember this? Very good. Now student, today we are going to learn the urban local government bodies. In the last chapter we have studied the local government bodies which work at village level. Now today we are going to learn the local bodies which works for the cities. Students, the urban local government bodies include Nagar Panchayat, Municipal Council and Municipal Corporation. It means that it also works at 3 levels, that is Nagar Panchayat, Municipal Council and Municipal Corporation. Okay student? Yes. Students, before moving forward, I would like to say thanks to my subscribers, those who have subscribed it, liked it, shared it and commented below the video. Thank you students, I be connected. Students, we all know that India is a large country. India is a multi-state country also. In India, approximately we find there are 6,64,369 villages are there. And student, one more important thing is that according to the census of 2011, there are 7,935 towns are there, 4,000 cities are there, and students, there are 739 districts are there in India. Okay students, and in India there are 28 states and 8 union territories. It means that total 36 states are there. Okay students, and in Maharashtra 36 districts are there. Okay students, so this is the basic information about the villages, towns, cities, districts and states of India. Okay student, it means that the villages are growing rapidly, the cities are growing rapidly, the towns are growing rapidly, the villages are growing into towns, the towns are growing into cities and the cities are growing into districts rapidly, and the cities are growing into metropolis cities. So here we see the rural areas neighboring cities are also getting transformed. Okay students, have you understood this much? Very good. So student, here we know that India is a large country and for the purpose of administration it is divided into smaller aspects, for example villages, towns, cities, districts, metropolis cities and states. But here to run these things, to run these regions, the government required some council or a committee. Okay student, so here, and do you know who look after all these regions or all these areas? Yes, if you know who looks after these areas, these regions, divisions of country, then you can type your answer in the comment box. Okay students, yeah, before moving further or before understanding the 3 levels of administration at the urban local government, okay, first of all we will understand the advantages and problems of urban area. Okay student, the advantages and problems of rural area and the problems and advantages of the urban areas are quite different one. Okay student, so let's have a look on the advantages as well as problems and then we will try to understand who looks after all these things. Okay students, are you ready? Very good. First of all, we shall study the facilities in the cities. Okay students, see, one of the important facilities of the cities is opportunities for industry and business. Yes student, here we can see or we find that in urban areas there are opportunities for business as well as industries. Yes, student. Because of availability of the facilities or services in cities, okay, we can see here the growth of industry as well as business. For example, the availability of the transport facility, and due to this it helps to grow industry as well as business. Okay, student. So this is one of the important facilities we do find in cities. The second one is expanding service sectors. Yes, student, just now I have told you that due to the availability of facilities, for example, transportation, road transportation, and all other services, and due to this, it helps to develop or it helps to expand the other services too in urban area. Okay, student. Now the third one is that here in cities we have a large scale opportunities for job. Yes, student, we do know that most of the people from rural area, they migrate from their native place to cities. Why? The purpose is only job. Okay, student, or for the purpose of earning. Okay, student, yes, for the purpose of earning the livelihood. So here in cities, due to the availability of all the facilities and due to growth in industries, business, economic, okay, here we have all the facilities, and as well as it creates the opportunities for jobs in city. One more important facilities that is available in city is facilities for entertainment, art and culture. Here, student, we know that the population of the cities are growing day by day, and due to this, here the means are created for the entertainment of the people. Okay, student, have you understood? So these are some of the facilities that are available in cities. Okay, we can say these are the advantages. Okay, students, as well as the health sector is available here, education sector also is available here. Good education is available in cities. Okay, and due to this, the growth of city is going on increasing. With this good advantages, we have some disadvantages also. It means some of the problems. Okay, now we are going to study some of the problems that we find in the cities. Yes, student, if you are living in city, what kind of problems do you face? Okay, so you can type your answer in the comment box. Students, now we shall study the problems in cities. The first and most important problem is shortage of housing. Okay, student, just now I have told you that due to availability of all the services, job opportunities and all, the people from a rural area migrating from their native place to the cities, and here in cities there is a limited regional area. We can't increase the area. Okay, and because of that, here we find there is a shortage of housing facility in cities, and in the same way here is insufficient space, and due to that one of the problem creates, that is insufficient space. Okay, student, for example, in Mumbai we know that people are living within very smaller area. Okay, why they are living in a smaller area? Because of insufficient space is there. Okay, students, have you understood? Very good. The next problem that we face in the city is traffic congestion. Yes, everywhere in cities, most of the time, daily we face the problem of traffic congestion because of increase in the population as well as the increase in number of vehicles. Okay, students, again one of the important problems we do find in the, or we do face in the cities is that disposal of wastage or disposal of waste. Yes, student, due to lack of the land, due to insufficient space, it is very difficult to do disposal of the waste in cities. One of the reason may be that there may be no dumping grounds in the cities. Students, just now I have told you that the population in cities is going on increasing. Okay, students, the result of increasing population is converted into crime. Okay, student, so here we see in the cities there are more crimes less than the rural area. Okay, students, have you understood? Very good. Now we will study again one of the important problem that we face in the city is that a large proportion of population is concentrated in slum area. Just now I have told you that there is insufficient space in cities, and due to insufficient space the people built huts, hamlets wherever they get the place, and these huts and hamlets converts into slum area, and most of the population is residing in slum area. Okay student, for example, in Mumbai, Dharavi is the one of the largest, biggest slum region of the Asia. These are some of the problems that we face in the cities. Okay student, have you understood this much? Yes, very good. Now to look after these problems of the cities, we require a administrative council, a government, okay, a body of people that can look after these problems or that can run the city. Okay student, so the urban local government body work at 3 level. Okay, the first level is Nagar Panchayat, the second level is municipal council, and the third level is municipal corporation. Okay student, have you understood? Yes, now we will have detailed information about all these things. Okay, yes, are you ready? Very good. Students, before moving forward, I would like to explain some of the concepts that are very important to understand the 3 levels of governing bodies. Okay, the first one is municipal. What do you mean by municipal, students? If you know, you can type your answer in the comment box. Municipal is related to city or districts, or we can say the governing body of the city, we can say. Okay student, so this is one. Now the next one, council. Yes student, what do you mean by council? Yes, council is a advisory or administrative body that is appointed by people, and administrative body of people, formally formed and regularly meetings. Okay student, so this is one of the body of people that is formally formed by the people and appointed to look after the city. Okay students, now next one of the important concepts is that corporation. Students, corporation means a group of people elected to govern the city or town. Okay student, have you understood? Yes, these 3 concepts are important to understand this chapter. Now we will study the first level of governing bodies, that is Nagar Panchayat. Do you know about Nagar Panchayat? Yes, let me tell you. Okay students, just now I have told you that most of the villages are growing into towns, towns into cities. Okay, so here what I would like to tell you that the villages which are in the process of growing into towns have Nagar Panchayat. Okay student, these villages are not fully rural and these villages are not completely cities. Okay student, they are in the process of being towns. Okay student, these towns areas have Nagar Panchayat. Okay student, have you understood? Very good. In such areas, the local government body is Nagar Panchayat. Students, you know that if Nagar Panchayat is a body that works to look after the cities, then it should require a head or a president. Okay student, if you want to select or appoint a president, we need to take elections. Okay student, that we have studied in the 3rd chapter. Okay, elections are being done in Gram Panchayat for the Sarpanch. Okay, in the same way here also in Nagar Panchayat, after every 5 years elections are held. Elections to the Nagar Panchayat are held after every 5 years. Okay student, and the elected members choose the president and vice president of Nagar Panchayat, and the president and the vice president is being chosen from the elected members only. Okay student, have you understood? Yes, very good. Students, do you know, if you know the function of urban local government body, you can type the answer in comment box. Yes, do you know what kind of work they do? or what kind of work the elected members do? Yes, or what is the function of president? What is the function of vice president? Yes, what kind of work they do? Let's learn. Students, there are minimum 9 and maximum 15 members working in Nagar Panchayat. What is the strength of members in the Nagar Panchayat? Minimum 9 and maximum 15. And the office bearers of the Nagar Panchayat is president. You know, student, president is the head of the body, and vice president. Okay, student. And an executive officer is appointed to look after the implementation of the works or the decisions has taken by the government body. Students, now we shall study, that is municipal council. Yes, student, just we have studied about, that is Nagar Panchayat. Students, as Nagar Panchayat is for the villages which are in the process of becoming towns, and here now the municipal council is for the cities. Municipal council is a local government body for small cities. Okay, student. So here municipal council is work for the small cities. Students, just now we have studied that in Nagar Panchayat for every 5 years elections being conducted. In the same way here also elections to the councils are held every 5 years. Students, do not forget it. Every 5 years elections are being conducted for municipal council. In the beginning of video I have told you the meaning of council, students. Okay. After election, the elected members work as a councillor. Student, as per the new act relating to municipal council, the president is directly elected by the people. Students, in the earlier in Nagar Panchayat we have studied that the president is being elected from among the elected members only, but here a provision is done that the president is elected by directly by the people. Okay, student, and as well as a provision has made here that the election of president can be keep on hold. There is a provision to hold the election of president simultaneously with the general election of the council. The president of the municipal council is the chairman of all its meetings. Yes, student, you know that after election, for the purpose of administrative work, they need to conduct different or various meetings after a particular duration of time. So here the meeting is held under the control of the president. Okay, and the president is chairman here of the meetings. He controls the working of the council and keep watch on the financial administration of the council. Students, in the absence of the president, the vice president looks after the work of council. Students, do you know what is the work of municipal council? Yes, if you know, you can type your answer in the comment box. Okay, students. Let's see some of the functions of the municipal council. Students, there are some functions that are binding to the council. Yes, these functions are called as obligatory functions. Yes, student, what do you mean by obligatory functions? Obligatory means compulsory, mandatory. Okay, the council should do the work. Okay, so it is compulsory, mandatory functions. So which are the obligatory functions that the council has to do? The first is lighting of the public streets. Yes, student, everywhere we see on the streets there are lights on the streets. Okay, the municipal council do the work of lightening of the streets. Okay, student, in the night when we go outside for the purpose of roaming or some work, that time we see that everywhere on the street there are lights. Okay, so that work is done by municipal council. So it is obligatory function of the council to lightening the streets. Second obligatory function of the municipal council is providing drinking water. Yes, student, every morning or in the evening we do get water from municipal council. Okay, so making available of drinking water is the obligatory function of municipal council. The third obligatory function is public hygiene. It is very important to have the public hygiene. Okay, student, because if there is no public hygiene, it will directly affect on the health of public. Okay, student, and we know that in cities the population of people is going on increasing. Due to it, there may be a problem of public hygiene. So there should not be any problem for the public hygiene. For that purpose, municipal council do a lot of work. Okay, student, and it is related to the public health, student. Okay, the next and most important function of the municipal council is sewage disposal. It is one of the important work of the municipal council is that disposal of sewage. And the next one is that registration of death, birth and marriage. Such kind of works also done by the municipal council, and it is compulsory for the municipal council to maintain the record of death, birth and marriage. Students, other than these mandatory services or functions of the municipal council, the municipal council tries to give some additional services to the people. These services which are not mandatory, which are not obligatory, are called as discretional services or discretional functions. Discretional functions means these are not compulsory. Okay, students, have you understood? Very good. So let's see the non-compulsory functions of the municipal council. The first one is planning new public roads. Second, acquiring necessary land. Third one, improving the conditions of the slum. Fourth one, creating public gardens and parks, providing secure shelters for the cattle. Okay, student. So these are some of the non-compulsory or non-obligatory or discretional functions of the municipal council. These are not compulsory. Okay, student, have you understood? Very good. Students, do you know who does implement all these decisions of municipal council? Yes, if you know, type your answer in the comment box. Students, a chief officer is appointed for the purpose of implementation of these decisions taken by the municipal council, and there are several officers who assist him. Yes, assisting means what? Who help him. There are several other officers who help him. Okay, students? Students, just now we have studied that some of the obligatory functions and non-obligatory functions of the municipal council. But students, you know that if you want to do some work, it requires money. It requires a financial help. Then how does the municipal council get money to work on all such kind of things? Yes, do you know? If you know, you can type your answer in the comment box. Okay, student, let me tell you. The municipal council does all the work from the revenue. Okay, student. What is revenue, student? Yes, the municipal council receives the taxes from people. Okay, students. This revenue is used for the work. Okay, student. Then, which are the sources of revenue? Let's see which are the sources of revenue or taxes. One by one. The first one is property tax. The second, education tax. The third, water tax. Fourth, tax on market. Yes, student. These are the sources of revenue. As well as the municipal council receives grants from the state government. Okay, student. So state government also help the municipal council financially to do a specific work. Okay, student, have you understood the sources of revenue of the municipal council? Very good. Students, do you know how many members do work in the municipal council? Yes, the office bearers. Okay, students. So there should be minimum 17 members and maximum 38 members should be there as an office bearer of municipal council. And we know that president is a head of the municipal council and vice president is there. As well as just now I have told you, a chief officer is appointed to look after all the work. So student, we have studied about the Nagar Panchayat municipal council. Okay, student. Now we are going to study point number 4.3, that is municipal corporation. Okay, students. As we have studied, municipal council is the local government body of a city. In the same way, here the municipal corporation is the local government body of the big cities. Okay, students. The local body that provides different services to the people in big cities is called municipal corporation. Okay, students. Students, do you know which is the first municipal corporation in Maharashtra? Yes, can you guess? Okay, let me tell you. The first municipal corporation in Maharashtra was formed or established at Mumbai. Students, the total number of the members of a municipal corporation is determined so as to be in proportion to the population of the city. What do you mean by this, student? Yes, in proportion to the population of the city, according to that there will be the number of members of municipal corporation. Okay, students? The election to the corporation are held every 5 years, as we have studied about Nagar Panchayat and municipal council. There also we have seen that elections are held in every 5 years. The elected members are called corporators. Okay, student. And the corporators elects a mayor from among themselves. They elect a mayor and a deputy mayor from among themselves. Students, do you know one of the important things of the mayor? Yes, mayor is considered as the first citizen of the city, as we have the first citizen of India is the president of India is known as the first citizen of country. In the same way here, the mayor is considered as a first citizen of the city. Students, he conducts overall all the meetings of corporations. Many important issues regarding the city are discussed and decisions regarding the development of the city are made in the general body meetings of the corporation. Students, some of the changes are being done in the process of election. Okay, students, and according to that changes, multi-member wards are created. Students, what is ward? Ward is a regional area from where the constitutional elections are held, and this ward is created for the purpose of administrative convenience. Students, from each ward not less than 3 and not more than 5 members are elected. The voter can cast as many votes as the number of members to be elected. It means that if in a ward there are 4 members to be elected, then a voter can give 4 votes. Students, in the municipal corporation there are different committees who look after the different or the work which is assigned to it. So let's see the committees which are very important in the municipal corporation. For example, education committee, health committee, transport committee, etc. Okay, students. So these committee will focus on the work which is given to them. For example, education committee will work for the education only. Students, let's learn now about the administration of municipal corporation. The municipal commissioner is the head of the administration of corporation. Who is the head of the administration of corporation? The municipal commissioner is the head of administration of corporation, and he is the responsible person for the implementation of the decisions taken by the municipal corporation. For example, if the municipal corporation takes decision on putting ban on use of plastic bags, then here the municipal commissioner should work on it. He should work for it. He should look after the actual implementation of non-use of plastic bags. Students, one of the important function of the commissioner of municipal corporation is that to prepare a budget. He prepares the budget of corporation as well as he remains present for the general body meetings. Yes, students, have you understood? Very good. Students, as I have told you earlier, the revenue is required to do work. In the same way, here also, the municipal corporation require money to work on it. So here, some of the sources of revenue we are going to study now. So the first one is house tax, second property tax, third water tax, fourth profession tax, fifth entertainment tax, sixth rising loans, and the last one is that is grants from the state government. Okay student, so these are the sources of revenue for the municipal corporation. Okay students, have you understood? Very good. So student, today we have learned the urban local government bodies. In urban local government bodies, we have studied Nagar Panchayat, municipal council and municipal corporation, as well as we have studied the functions of each, as well as we have studied the revenue sources of each level. Okay students? Yes. In the next video, we are going to study the exercise given on the page number 76. Okay student, if you want to learn more about it, be connect with me, and if you want to be connect with me, subscribe my channel and press the bell icon. Students, if you have liked this video, like it, share it, comment below the video, and do not forget to subscribe it and press the bell icon so that you will get current notification of such new videos. Thank you. Be connected.